All right. Hello, everyone. I'm going to be honest. This is the third time that I'm recording this live, but the topic is about remaining open. So I might as well be open and do it again. So I'm just checking if you can hear me. And I think it's okay now. So I just got back from being at a cafe, and something happened that I felt so inspired to share. Even though what happened is not necessarily something huge, I went to a cafe today and I brought my book, and it's a really thick book because it's 12 books in one. And I was sitting at this cafe, and these two older ladies were sitting next to me, and they're looking at me. And at some point, they go, "What are you reading?" So I told them I was reading this book from, I keep forgetting his name, but I think it's Neville Gardens, something like that. What he does, he is a manifestation expert, and he translates or interprets the Bible in a way that comes down to mindfulness and manifestation. So we started talking. It's not necessarily about the book, but as you can see, it's quite an interesting topic, but not everyone is going to like it. So we start talking, and at some point, this older woman, I think she was maybe 75, something like that, she says, usually I don't have the energy to talk to people because I have Parkinson. And we ended up talking for about 1.5 to 2 hours straight. And we were talking about all these life experiences and the way we're looking at life. And those are my favorite conversations. And I noticed that even other people that started to come in the cafe, they wanted to join, they wanted to talk about whatever we were talking about. And I realized this is what we're missing. People are not really open anymore. And if you want to be different from 95% of the people, be open. Most people walk on the street with their phones. They're not looking at other people. They're just within their own bubble. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that they're doing something wrong, but I think they're missing out so much, especially because loneliness is bigger than ever. And what I notice is that every time I go somewhere and I have this open attitude and I look around and I talk with people, I feel so connected and magic happens. For a lot of people, magic can be interpreted in a very different way for everyone. I would say if something happens, if someone comes up to you and some connection starts to flourish, it's always for a reason. And sometimes that's just this little moment of connection, and sometimes it can mean that you get a, I don't know, business connection out of it or something else. And I just realized that life is so different when you are open to experiences and other people and when you release judgment. To give you another story, so I lived in a lot of countries. I lived for a couple of years in Australia, I lived in France, Spain, Italy. And the one thing that made all these experiences so good, so memorable, is every time I was open. I met people on the street and they would become my friends. Or, for example, when I went to Australia, I was really craving friends. I didn't know anyone. I went there on this backpack journey, and one day I was sitting in this park and I thought, you know what? I would love to meet other people. So what happened was that I became very open. And there was a girl sitting, well, a couple of meters further away from me, and she looked nothing like, first of all, me, and also not like my friends. And I think if I would have met her when I was way, way younger, I probably would have thought we could never be friends just by the way you look. And I know that's not very pretty, but that's the way it was. But this day I thought, you know what? I'm just going to go sit next to her and say hi. So I went up, sat next to her, and I said, "Hey, how are you?" Let's get something clear. If I would be in the Netherlands, I would never do that. I do have my friends here, and it would feel uncomfortable to just go up to someone and say, "Hey, how are you doing?" However, We started to talk, and then at some point I said to her, "Do you have any plans for today? And would you like to go to a cafe together and have a drink together?" She said, "You know what? I would love that." We ended up going to a cafe. She ended up inviting all of her friends. Eventually, we had the best night ever, and all the people that I met became my friends because I stayed there for almost 2 years, and only because I remained open. If I would have led with my judgment and would have just been like, you know what, she doesn't look like someone that could be my friend, I would have never met all these people. And that's why I realize if you remain open, you will attract people because people crave it. Every time my single friends tell me, "Marilyn, it's so hard to meet men. It's so hard to meet good men. I never see them. I don't like dating apps. It's very difficult." I always tell them the same thing because this is something that I've tried many times. Don't get me wrong. This is not in a arrogant or narcissistic way. Just try it for yourself and you'll see. I tell them, put on something nice. Put on something that makes you feel good and very confident and walk on the street, and I want you to think two things. First of all, I'm open, and second of all, everybody is looking at me. Every man is looking at me. And trust me, every single time my friends come back, they tell me, like, first they react like, I'm not gonna do that. That sounds ridiculous. It sounds arrogant. And I say, it's not meant in an arrogant way. Just try it. And they come back to me and they say, "You are right. I was walking on the street. All of a sudden, I noticed that all these men were looking at me." Let's get something clear. It's not that these men were not there before. It's not that you changed something so drastically in the way you dress or the way you come across that all these men all of a sudden start to look at you. The only thing is, you start to change what you focus on. One of the biggest lessons that I've learned is that you experience the life that you focus on. If you're going to focus on all the things that go wrong, how nobody is actually looking at you, how nobody finds you attractive, or no, that there are no opportunities at work, you will experience all of those things. So you might as well focus on something good because you know how it works in biology. Our brain, I'm sure I've shared this before, our brain is wired for confirmation of what we believe. Do you notice how if you want to get a new pair of shoes or even something else, if you want to get a new car or something in your house, do you notice that all of a sudden you start noticing the exact thing that you want around you? The thing is, that's exactly how it works. If you are just gonna focus on the things that you want, your brain will make a way to make it happen. Because in the end, the only thing that our brain wants to do is to keep us safe. And one way of keeping us safe is to confirm what we believe because it's predictable. And this is something that you can train. Also, I want to share another story. And in a way that has to do with being open, but also being open with our minds, being open to miracles, being open to things that you could have never thought would happen. So, okay, one time I was living with my partner and with my previous partner, and we were looking for bikes because we wanted to start cycling together. And my dad was so excited because he's really into cycling. And, I'm from the Netherlands. So, of course, everyone has a bike, but I mean, racing, a racing bike. And I told him, like, "Dad, I really want to start cycling. Can you help me?" He got super excited and he got me a beautiful bike. He helped me to pick one. And my partner at the time, it wasn't his priority to get a bike. So we were just discussing, like, financially, it's not a priority to get the bike. I would love to do cycling with you, but it's not a priority. Okay, whatever. Doesn't matter. Couple of days later, I come home and there is this bike in front of the house. And I first of all, I start to laugh and I think that's a joke, right? Maybe I thought, oh, what a coincidence. Someone just put their bike there for a second. We just talked about getting a bike. So after a couple of hours, the bike was still there. And I thought, okay, I'm just going to leave it there for a couple of days, see what happens. So I didn't lock it, I kept it there. Days go past, and still no one picks up this racing bike. And then I thought, okay, I'm going to lock this bike. They can just ring the bell and tell me, like, hey, I forgot my bike here. Can I get it back? And I keep the bike there for weeks and no one comes. And I think, how in the world is it possible that we literally thought about getting a bike? We didn't have the priority to do that. And it just shows up, which means for me, if you remain open, things like that can happen. And it's so funny because earlier I had a conversation and we spoke about this, and it was about dating and something else. You know, a lot of things can happen, but I do think that we have a responsibility to do certain things that make it easier. So I was talking about how if you want to meet someone, if you want to date with people, but you don't really like dating apps, or you probably need to get out of the house, because I said your man is probably not just gonna appear on the doorstep. But then, I thought about this story and I thought, actually, I'm not even saying that that it couldn't happen. Anything could happen. And it's so important to keep this in mind. Something I also want to share, because some people ask me, but how, especially when I work with clients, there are a couple of scenarios which I really understand that make it hard to remain open. I'll get into that in a bit, but they would ask me, how do I remain open? Where do I start? I feel like I'm so tied to my daily routines and the things that I believe and the things that I do. First tip, if you're into sports, I would really say try a new sport. So I started doing CrossFit a couple of months ago. I've done a lot of team sport for the past 4 years. I've done a lot of strength training. I love it. I've always loved it. And after 4 years of doing strength training for, well, 4 times a week, very consistent, it became a little bit boring. And I didn't want to come up with all the workouts myself all of the time. So I thought, I'm going to try something different. And the first couple of times I was there, I felt like such a noob because I didn't know what all these terms were. They were talking about snatches and the power snatch and all these things that I'd never heard of. And I felt very humbled because, I think that if you try new things, it will humble you. And we all need to be humbled. Sometimes we get humbled in life by things that really hurt us. That's not fun. However, that's what happens sometimes. But sometimes we can choose to be humbled in a way that feels a little bit better. So I would say try working out, try something new, go to a new cafe, do things that have a low barrier when while still doing something new. That could be trying even a new genre of reading books or watching something that you would never usually watch, or starting to talk to someone in the supermarket. What it trains your brain, it trains, I would also say, your heart to be open and to meet people and attract all these new experiences. Another question that I get sometimes from my clients is, how do I stay open when someone or something broke my heart? Okay, first things first, heartbreak is one of the most painful things that you can experience. That could be, it doesn't always have to be a romantic relationship. Sometimes it could be a friendship, or it could be that you lose someone literally that's really close to you. There's always a need to grieve. So I do think by remaining open, also in this grieving period, you will be filled up with new experiences, but I'm definitely not saying that you should skip that whole part and just be open and bubbly. And but what I noticed with both my clients and in my own life, if heartbreak happens and you still choose to go out there and to do things that make you happy, to do things that make you feel good, you will attract more of that in your life. It will heal you. Honestly, it will heal you so much. Then the next thing that I want to talk about, I already said keeping your mind open is so important for feeling joy. It's so important to experience new things and to feel connected to the part of you that was always there. To give you an example, a few years ago, I did this training and it was a group of about 7 people. And one of the participants, they were about 50 years old, maybe a little bit older. I remember this first day, we had this exercise of coming up with all the dreams that we had and writing down our desires and thinking about all the possibilities that we could manifest or create in the upcoming year. And at the end of the training, this person comes up to me, and it was a very open and safe container. So there was no judgment necessarily. They come up to me and they told me, "You trigger me so much." At first, I thought, oh, I didn't mean to. And they said, the way you speak with so much possibility, so much openness, curiosity, and even playfulness, it really triggers me. So we started to have this conversation about how everything that had happened in their life made them close up their heart. And the only thing that was happening was that I was reflecting something that it was within them. And why I'm telling you this story is because everyone is born with this openness, with all these dreams and possibilities and everything that we believe in. And we lose it when we get older. We lose it because of heartbreak. We lose it because of experiences that really, really hurt us, or even being conditioned by the system, being conditioned by education, work. And it's so sad. That's why we love children. Don't we all love kids? We love it when someone or like a child is walking around and they see something for the first time, maybe an animal. They are so excited about it, and it reminds us of this openness, of this feeling of curiosity and possibility, and we miss it. But I really believe you can train your mind, your heart to focus on possibilities. And that's why I'm so passionate about this topic. And like I said before, when I was traveling, the one thing that got me all these experiences and things that I will never ever forget was because I was open. So if you've noticed that you started to close off and you know that you have these beliefs about the world and everything, I need you to remember to make time to open those things up again. And I have a really great exercise that I do with my one-on-one clients. It works. It works for me. It works for my clients. I don't care what anyone says. This one is magic, and I really want to share it with you because I believe that when we do this exercise, we do it to get something good in life. This is how it goes. First, you grab a piece of paper. On the right side, you're going to write down your current reality. That's where I want you to write down the things that you're not happy about. And then, of course, we're going to go to where you want to go. I would say once you write down where you want to go. So I'm going to give you some examples. Let's say I want my dream relationship, or I want my dream body. I want to make more money. I want to have this job that I love. Write it down on the left side where you create this reality that you desire. Then go back to the right side again, and think about, what do I experience now? Do I have a dream job, or could it be I have a terrible job? I have a job that I really hate at the moment. Or at the moment, I'm earning X amount of money. Or at the moment, I don't feel like I have this dream energy or body or whatever it is that you want. And you have these two next to each other. That is step one. So you know, first of all, where you are at the moment and you know where you want to go. Second step, and most important step, you're going to evaluate yourself. And I need you to be brutally honest with yourself. Why am I not in this current, or why am I not in this desired reality? What is it that I believe? What is it that I do? What is it that I think, that I feel? What is all the behavior that I'm doing that makes that I don't have this reality? So let's say you've written down my dream or my desired reality is to have a dream partner. Someone that I love, someone that loves me, someone that I can trust. And then you're going to be honest and you find out what I actually believe is that I can't trust men. Or you believe love is always going to go wrong. Let's say you have parents that got divorced and you've only seen an example of pain, you've seen an example of betrayal, or something happened in the previous relationship that made you believe it is not safe to love. It is not safe to be with someone. Maybe you believe it's not possible. Maybe you believe all good men are taken. Whatever it is, it's not going to be pretty, this part. But I need you to be very conscious and raw with yourself about what you believe. Then also look at your behavior. Are you staying in all the time? Are you staying in your house? And honestly, again, someone can show up at your door. I'm not saying that it's not possible, like the bike, but it is important, of course, to go out there and to increase the chance of meeting someone. Then also, I would say, think about what you think about relationships. Let's say you've written down your current reality is that you never have enough money. If you want to change that, I know this is all over the internet, but if you want to change that, you have to start believing that you have enough. It's the hardest part. This whole thing of believing something that is not there, that's where most people fail. That's where most people get stuck because they just don't have the capacity to believe in something that they can't see yet. However, it's not without reason that everyone that talks about manifestation and those kind of things, that they all tell you you have to believe in what you want. And that's pretty tough. On the one hand, it's very simple because you know, okay, if that's all I'm gonna have to do, I'm just gonna sit back and believe and wait. But the thing is that once you believe those things, you will think differently, you will act differently, your habits will change. That's what's gonna make the difference. So that's truly something that I would highly, highly, highly recommend. Do this exercise and let me know what is changing because it's so powerful. And I think if we see in the comments, okay, these things are working for me, it's easier to believe that it will work for you because no one is special. In this whole thing, anyone could do it. So, anyways, that has to do with being open and being open to miracles and being open to possibilities that you never thought could happen. To wrap this up, so first of all, stay open when you walk around, have an open attitude, make sure that you are going to new places so that you are training this muscle of receiving new things, new experiences, and even changing the way you think. Then also do the exercise and try it for yourself. Be consistent. Just read it through every day. It doesn't have to be an hour. You can just read through it one time. You'll see what happens. And also, if so let's say you've had heartbreak or you've had these tough experiences, make time to grieve. Make time to sit with those feelings and to let it flow through you. And when the time is right, choose to be open. Like I said, that's why in some way we envy children. We envy how open they are, how full of dreams they are. And I noticed this also with the older generation. So, for example, like the generation of my parents, sometimes they tell me, "Oh, it's so cute, Marilyn. It's so cute that you are so optimistic and that you're very positive, but just wait till you'll see that people will betray you." If I choose to believe that, if that's those are pretty dangerous things to say because I will start thinking about it. Imagine if I would believe that. Then all I would experience is that people betray me. So I actively choose not to believe that and to focus on people are good. Most people are good. They have a good heart and they want to connect. And I just believe that there are so many possibilities in this life, but it's so easy to let the world take it away from you. So don't be one of those people. And if you notice that, okay, I actually started to believe some of those things as well, don't be hard on yourself, but make the decision. What I'm going to believe is that the world is full of good people as well. Especially with everything that's going on in the world, I know there's also things that break our hearts. I know that, but I just don't think it's helpful to choose fear. Because, if everyone is going to choose to remain in fear, what is that going to do for the world? I'm not judging anyone that feels fearful because things are scary. I agree. But I think you can make the most impact if you're the person, even if it's just in your family, in your friend group, for yourself. If you are the person that has a positive mindset and that believes that things will work out, that's what a leader is. Then you're such a leader. I Now that I'm saying it, I really believe that true leadership is someone that will keep their eyes on a vision, a positive vision that's full with possibilities, positive energy, positive outcomes, and also loving people. That's what we crave. In a world like today, how refreshing is it to meet someone that despite everything that's going on, they're so full of life, they are so excited about things. So if you really want to be magnetic, because trust me, it makes you magnetic, then be open and be a leader of faith, of possibilities, and you will see people are so drawn to you. And it's contagious as well. Positivity and trust in life, in everything, it's so contagious. You know how sometimes, I don't know if you ever go to a festival, but sometimes I go to festivals and I love to dance. Sometimes I don't even want to talk with people because I'm like, this is a really good song. And I came here to dance and not really to talk. And I notice that whenever I am in my body and I'm dancing, people always come up to me and they say, it's so contagious. And it's the other way around as well. If I'm at a party and I'm not feeling it yet, and I see someone in the very front dancing, not caring about what anyone thinks, I want to dance as well. I remember last year in June, I went to a reggae festival. I went alone to a festival because I thought I want to try that. I always go with friends, with my brothers and sisters, and I thought I really want to have this experience of going to a festival alone and seeing what happens. So I went to this reggae festival and it was so fun. It was so fun. I remember sitting in the grass. It was like this little hill and there was this stage in front of this hill and no one was dancing yet. It was very early. I went quite early to the festival. And there was this guy. He went up to the front and he started dancing. But I don't mean dancing just like, okay, yeah, no, this is great. No, he was going for it, like absolutely going for it. And everybody loved it. And I thought, you know what? I don't care. I'm going to stand next to you. I'm going to tell you, I love your energy and I'm going to dance with you. That's the type of person that you want to be. Don't you want to inspire people to be this free, radiant, magnetic version of yourself so that other people want to do the same. That's the impact that you can have. And in order to get there, look, there's so much that I could say about this, but I will dive into that in another video. But the moment you do your inner work and you work on the blocks that you have and you're honest about where you stand at the moment, what you believe, you will become radiant. People will see it. It's not without reason that very often after a breakup, people get this glow, right? They would say, friends start to say, "Oh my God, you're glowing. You're glowing." And I'm not saying right after a breakup, but I'm saying once someone has gone through all the pain and the grief and anger and they have made a lot of room for those emotions, they just start to glow. These women are taking care of themselves, they're going to the gym, they take care of their hair, they take care of their nails, everything they do. That's exactly what makes you radiant, magnetic, what makes you glow. So doing your inner work and doing your best to find out what's holding me back. What are the pains, the things that are still within me that keep me at this low frequency, because it's not necessarily a bad thing. The only thing that you need is being open, open to feel, open to process whatever is still there. And that's something that you can do through inner work. Most of the time when I work with my one-on-one clients, there's always this phase of doing the tough inner work, but it's so rewarding. We go through the pain points, but in the end, that is exactly what makes them free. It sets you free. And I'm so passionate about that because just like anyone else, I've experienced so many things in my life that hurt me, that broke my heart, and that's not to be a victim because I am definitely not. It has made me who I am. It has made me happy, open minded. It has made me reflective. And that's exactly what has, well, caused me to feel the way that I feel. I'm not saying that I always feel amazing. I have my low days, but I really do believe that most of the time I feel really good. But that's because I make an effort to do my inner work. And whenever something comes up, I feel it. I don't judge myself for it. And that's eventually what will help you. So I really hope with this video that you got inspired to be this open, playful, childlike version of yourself again, and that you will be inspired to walk around with this open attitude and that things will start happening to you that you wish would have happened to you before. But it's never too late. Doesn't matter how old, how young you are. Time is only yeah, okay. I'm going like all for it again for a new topic. I'm not going to do that. But time is a perception. It's honestly not the way we think it is. So if you decide to change something right now, change the way you believe, change the way you think about certain things, just see what happens. Don't take my word for it. Don't take my word for it. Try it out and let me know. I really hope that if you start to do these exercises, that you will share in the comments the positive things or the things that have happened to you so that we can inspire each other and make it easier for other people that might be a bit more skeptic about it, to help them believe in the fact that things are possible. Anyways, I'm so happy that you watched this video and I really hope that you got something out of it. So please let me know. Apart from that, I would say enjoy your day, enjoy your weekend if you're watching this in the weekend, and I would love to see you in the next video.